So, do you guys really think that it will ever live up to their glory days like in the 90s? I remembered at QuakeCon 2013, John said that he doesn't try to look back in the past and he focuses more on the future. And I think that's a great mental state of mind he has. It's definitely a wise thing to focus on what will work in the future to simply help your company stay alive, but is it wrong to not stay true to that title that you once had? I think it's safe to say that if you were living in the 90s and you played either of Wolfenstein, Doom, or Quake games, you'd probably say some of those games were the best games ever in that time. That's the thing I feel like this current id is missing, that groundbreaking or miraculous quality. Let's face it, people, id today, at least in my eyes, they seem so amateurish. The way they're treating Doom 4 is just so sad. Doom isn't really a complicated game to begin with, and when you make it, you shouldn't, have so much problems with it. And they announced this game back in '08 and still have nothing to show, which is obviously unprofessional. It also will make, Quake and Rage fans to wait even more for their next title, which it needs to focus on them too than just Doom. I really do miss the days when id used to release their games so frequently, and I'm not sure if it's because they were so confident in themselves, or maybe because the FPS genre was still relatively fresh back then and they wanted to make more to represent that genre they made. They were the creators after all. Now they barely release games, and fans of id generally have to wait for an unreasonably long amount of time to be able to enjoy that next title of whatever franchise they have to play. I'm happy that Wolfenstein is getting a reboot, and I think I will look at this game that pays homage to the id shooters and the mentality of them. So I'm happy Machine Games is trying to release an id-like game next year, because I definitely want to play another id title, but I don't think I'm going to see one until 2 more years or something. Speaking of the new Wolfenstein game, I think it's going to be the Game of the Year title for me. Everything I'm hearing is just good news, and I feel like I'm going to love this game, and it might give me that same vibe that I once had when I played the older titles of id. It always makes you have a great time whether you're doing good or not, and it always motivates me to play it more, which is one thing I really, enjoy from the older games from id. They just have so much motivation in them. I still got some of those aspects with Rage, but I don't think it was on the same level. I found myself questioning the game more, or just not really enjoying it as much as I expect from an id title. So yeah, we're in a generation where Call of Duty is definitely dominating the genre. Multiplayer is being the main focus for a lot of these type of games, and the arena-style shooter scene is dead, which is something that id was a part of too, which many people never really mention. It's really a sad future for these guys who just can't seem to keep up with the new crowd or folks. If I was in this situation where everyone that used to love you or respect you are doubting you and having high expectations that you're going to meet your grave, I'd put my entire heart and soul in this game, which is, Doom 4, to prove them wrong. Even if this game doesn't reach up to Bethesda's expectations of sales, at least id ended themselves with a great game instead of a poor game. I don't know what's going, to happen to these guys in the next year or two, but if id does, become truly extinct, I'll be ready for it, and I'll guess it'll be interesting to see who will own the rights of the franchises that they, currently own. I hate being negative, but it could be a possibility, and it's going to be a stab in the gaming industry, because these guys are so important. We're so important to the genre that I completely love and obsessed over. I remember when people, were being negative when Bethesda bought id. I didn't really see it as a bad thing, other than the, games might be more glitchy because, it's a Bethesda thing. But yeah, in this day and time, I feel like it's a step to their grave, because Bethesda is expecting their game to sell like crazy because they have very high standards over its software. So, I have a question for you guys. If id becomes extinct, which developer would you like to take over your favorite id franchises? I'm still not really sure. I'm hoping Machine Games do a good job with Wolfenstein. Then I will most likely say they will be the next id software, pretty much. I still have fond memories of playing, the old id games, and the main reason why I still have those memories is because they were so great, and I feel like the quality in them really stuck with me because I enjoyed them immensely. It's tough to face, the fact that these guys were once unstoppable when it comes to making first-person shooters in the 90s, but, in today's time, they're just struggling. And people, don't tell me that they just need to re-release the same classic Doom games with better graphics and stuff. It's not going to do well in this day and age. I'm just going to wait and see. That's all I think everyone should be doing.